Hey everyone, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life here for Crafty Maven Getaway multiple photo love, and we are using this mood board for the month of February. Also, happy Valentine's Day. I am going to go ahead and take inspiration from those two bottom photos down there. So the bottom right, the circles, and then the color palette from the whole thing. But my idea here is I just simply grabbed an empty roll of toilet paper, like just the cardboard part. And I went ahead and used my shades of yellow, and I have one shade of reddy coral color called Caribbean Sunset. I love this. And I'm just going to go ahead and just spray it in the circle patterns. I think my yellows are... I know one of them is Glorious Days, which is supposed to be like a gold, but it looks pretty yellow to me. And then I have a something sunset, and then a darker, like almost orangey color. And I'm just kind of playing. It's kind of random. I didn't really plan it out a whole lot, but I really liked the way that it turned out. And at the very end, the end part of it, I actually accidentally made a bit of a splatter, which made a really cool effect. So then I went back off camera and went ahead and splattered with the one of my yellows and the Caribbean one, just so that it had a nice little kind of look to it there. No idea what photos I wanted to use at the moment. I just was kind of playing to see what I could create, and I really love the way it turned out. A little bit different. I've been struggling with my mixed media quite immensely, actually. So this, the fact that it turned out so well was really nice for me. And the colors made me think of the fact that I have these 3 photos of my son doing some art. One day he came home and was like, "Mommy, can I paint?" And he loves to paint. So I said, "Of course you can, buddy." And he got out the really cheap Michael's watercolors, and he just did a watercolor painting for me. And so he's wearing a red shirt, and that kind of all just mixed in there. And I'm trying to look through my pattern papers. I want it to have a little bit of something there. And I'm thinking a border plus maybe a side little piece. And you're going to see I do find a couple things, and I make it all kind of go together. But I wasn't sure if I was going to use a contrast with, like I'm using this. Again, it's the pink color, but it's coral. And so I just kind of let it be, because it reads as coral even though it's really pink. But in the grand scheme of things, I see it as coral. But I'm going to put that just on the left-hand side. I really love the way that looks. And then I was looking to see if I needed a whole border. I originally wasn't planning on it, but then I decided I wanted a contrasting color, which led me to the teal. And it just really works well to help me bring in the fact that I put a little bit of teal in my middle photo, and it all just ties in together. Nice bright color, pop of contrast. Even though the color isn't in the mood board, that's really more of a dark blue navy color. I'm just going with it. It works for me. So here you see, I'm just kind of looking through it all. I do go through my 6x6 papers here so I can back my photo and make a little banner. I'm just kind of playing this. I wasn't following an inspiration piece, like a layout for inspiration. This is all just kind of me just playing to see what I could create. Please don't get me wrong. This layout design is not original idea whatsoever. I'm sure you've all seen plenty of circular wreaths of some kind with a banner effect with your photos in the middle. So it's just kind of flowed that way into how it was created. So I'm sure in the back of my mind, I was just picturing that as something else. So definitely not an original idea, but I also wasn't scraplifting anyone. So that's just the way it goes. Sometimes these are go-to designs that you just keep in the back of your head to do, and that's okay. You don't have to make every layout crazy original and all, you can go to those go-to designs. It really helps, especially kind of slow, make the process go faster, which is something I really love. I like it when my process is quick, even though I'm not a quick scrapbooker by any means. I normally takes me 2 days to finish a layout because I do everything in such small chunks. For some reason, I actually don't enjoy just sitting and scrapping for hours at a time. I love to be in my room. I could be in my room all day, but I have to do small amounts of different things. I kind of jump around. I can't just sit and scrap. I have to really kind of think about what I'm doing and make sure I really like how it's going, and I just have to kind of sit on things for a little bit, and then I can go back and say, yep, I like that, and then I add more, and then I sit on that, and then I add a little more, and that is how I scrap. So I'm thinking if I ever make it to a crop, I'm going to have like 6 layouts going that I just keep going back to, because that's just how slow I am. But I'd want to scrap, or I'm going to do a little bit and then talk for 2 hours and then do some more. We'll have to see if that ever happens. Okay, here you see I have now found the pattern paper I want to use to back. It is just part of something I had in my 12 by 12 papers. I have organized that all. If you haven't been watching my One Little Word into Action series, this is part of the stack that I had that is a pattern but reads as a solid type thing, and it's meant to be more as like background and stuff. So I went ahead and did that. I knew I wanted to back my photo with this as well, and so I went ahead and just used the side I knew I wasn't going to be using for the border. And then I'm going to glue it down, and I do stitching around it. It's super subtle and it's in white, so you're not going to be able to see it, but there is stitching around the white onto the teal there. I really love that pop of contrast. It's just exactly what I was looking for. And I also knew that I had this little banner that says you are, or something about work of art. So I really could have made that my title and been okay with it. However, I don't. I wanted to do one of my original, this is something I guess I'm kind of known for, at least I used to be known for, was making really long titles on my layouts and then having my journaling somewhere. And I kind of really miss that, doing that. And so I wanted to bring it back. I do go ahead and go into my stash kit that I'm working with for this month, doing my Shop It or Stash It kit series that I'm doing over on my channel. And I pulled out the word art there. And then I pull out all of my little tiny alphas that I own and try to find colors that are going to go ahead and work and pull it all together. And then what it ends up reading is art is something that, oh, I can't even remember what it's called now. It's a really nice long title. Let's see. It said, art is something that makes you breathe with a different kind of happiness. And I loved that. I felt like it worked perfectly. It's not really anything that had to be like a deep, like my journaling isn't deep journaling. It's just like Jackson, exactly like I told you, after school one day, Jackson asked if he could paint. I said, of course. And this is what he got to do for about half an hour. It kept him busy and he just loved it. So that's what my journaling is going to say. Nothing exciting. But the title is kind of fun and playful, and it's nice and long, and it makes a really nice design through the middle of the layout, which kind of gives you that perfect kind of a T or an L type design, which I really loved. And I got another pop of red onto the layout, which is nice because the word work in that banner is in red, his shirt's red, and then the red in the word different, and it creates that visual triangle I love to do so much. And then finally, that wraps it up. So there's a look at my final layout, and I'll see everyone really soon with another video. Thanks everyone. Bye.